So if we could turn our attention inward. Either closing our eyes or simply putting on hold the world for a moment, is to contemplate, to be together in this holy presence. Which is our God-given presence, God's presence, which is our presence, the same presence. The reality of our experience, which is this borderless, aware presence. The reality that hears these words, that is. So we welcome ourselves, we welcome each other and ourselves as this presence. The still, borderless and uncaused, uncreated reality of being. The transparency that I am I, that universal I is. The formless reality that we are, that is. This holy presence that you know yourself to be. I am this holy presence. This moment, in every moment. That which doesn't come and go. Which is the true oneness.
Quem é que teve mais aqui em casa, sem ser a gente três?
Whatever appears to you is your mind appears to you, you being this aware presence, effortless awareness that is not named Magdi or whatever name the body has been given. In our experience, there is that which appears. And its source, its reality. mistakenly we attribute life to be the realm of our experience. We believe that life starts with the Big Bang or with the birth of a body-mind. And that life evolves as the world body-mind is appearing differently from moment to moment, from decade to decade, from century to century. We overlook the reality of consciousness because it's formless. We believe that life is that which we perceive. But in this very moment, I am. And this I am is not a feeling. It's not a sensation. It's not a perception. It's a reality, it's a truth. It's an absolute, undeniable truth that I am. That there is awareness and presence. Which we do not perceive as we perceive the world, or we perceive feelings or thoughts. We have adopted the model of time and space as being the reality of our experience. And as a result, our mind interprets all our experience according to that model of time and space, the objective model, the phenomenal model. We perceive life to be physical, and we perceive ourselves to be both physical and mental, conceptual, the concept of spirit. And we experience the unhappy sense of separation and suffering. the feeling of limitation, the sense of lack, and the concern about ending, about mortality. We imagine life to be mortal. What is it that feels and believes that life is mortal? Is this belief truth? Is that which perceives? Is that mortal? Is life truly mortal? We imagine a beginning to life. And whatever has a beginning has an ending. Where did that imagined beginning come from? On what basis? Do we believe and feel that life has a beginning and an ending? Have we ever experienced a beginning and ending to I, to awareness? Have you ever stepped out of yourself to perceive yourself beginning and ending? Is it possible to ever step out of yourself in order to have a proof of your beginning and ending? Because if I has a beginning, there has to be something that knows that knows that directly. Like you know that when you put your hand in the fire, it hurts. Does imagining yourself to be the body-mind actually prove that you are the body-mind? Does the feeling that you are sitting on a chair, does that feeling demonstrate and validates and proves that you are sitting on a chair? Isn't that feeling some internal weather that appears to you? That is completely insignificant. Because when you look for that feeling and you go to it, you don't find anything objective. You only find awareness, beingness. Is life that which you imagine it to be? Your beliefs, your thoughts about life, about this or that. When you go into your imagination, isn't it like going into space, the vast space of not knowing, the spaciousness of being. Where there are no sounds and no words and no shapes and no forms. And the deeper you go into it, the faster it is. And the closer you get to the edge, the farther the edge is. Because there is no edge to God, to the freedom, to the love, to the beauty, to the truth. There is no edge. Can you exclude anything from reality? Can you exclude anything from life? How real is the line that you draw between life and non-life, between this and that? How real is this line that you draw? And where are you drawing it? There's no place to draw a line. A line drawn in the ocean. Does it divide the ocean into this side and that side? This is a real division. This understanding is available to us. And to live according to this understanding. To allow this understanding to guide, to be the map, the compass. Okay, so if there are any questions, please make sure you unmute your mic, yes? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. Somehow I had this idea that satsang would be tomorrow. It's kind of weird. I mean, but I still made it 5 minutes late. Maybe we would need to put the questions before the meditation, because after your meditation, the heaviness is gone. So I have nothing really to ask.
That's a good thing. The questions are somehow dissolved in.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. I felt so heavy the last days, and this flip-flopping back, leaving that. Oh, I don't want to go there. It's just my private mental institute, but just thank you and gratitude. I cannot explain myself, but I'm at the right place.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah, but what a mess. I mean, since again and again and again, I fall into this heaviness inside, and then it just dissolves again. And maybe,
Yeah, you know, so the understanding on one hand is not one understanding, and the understanding takes a certain time to sort of become obvious, and so we have to allow this process, because like when you are driving to the beach, every minute, every mile, you are getting closer to the beach as long as you are heading in the right direction. So you may not perceive, the beach or experience the beach, but in time you start to get a whiff in the air of the beach and of the ocean, of the fresh air, you start to see a seagull here and there, or you start to see some areas in the landscape that are sort of lagoons or some sort of connection to. You may cross a bridge and you see more water around, but you're sensing more and more the ocean. And then you may get a glimpse of the ocean around a certain turn in the distance. And that glimpse may last for a few minutes, but then the road may hide that the ocean, which is there. It's always there. It's always there. And also, when you start your journey towards the ocean, you have an interest in going there, and you're excited, and that's the direction, that's where you want to go. Because somehow you know that it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be happy, it's going to be nice. You somehow you know maybe from having seen some pictures of the ocean, or having seen a movie about the ocean, or having been with friends who told you about the ocean, so many ways. But so you want to go there, and the more you hear about the ocean, the more certain you are that you want to go there. And also when you're sitting with your friends, of course, all metaphors are limited, but you sort of sense their happiness about the ocean. And it's contagious. Peace, the peace of being, the causeless peace of being is contagious. It requires, well, grace, of course. Grace is always there. It's always opening all the doors. And it's always there. The invitation is always there. But at some point in your journey, you find yourself sort of savoring the ocean in the presence of certain friends. Because the ocean is yourself, is your very self. The metaphor of the ocean is just a metaphor, you see, of traveling to the ocean. It's a metaphor. It's a journey from here to here, that journey that takes no steps. There are no steps to this journey. So it's really not a journey. It's a way of speaking, we say journey, but so there is also soaking in the in the self, in presence, in the truth, in the love. And that's it's like you want to dye a certain cloth, you soak it in the dye, in the blue dye, or into ochre dye, or yellow. The more you soak it, the more it gets the tincture of the color. Francis used to say about the retreats to some questions, it's just, all you need to do is just show up. Showing up is not necessarily showing up to a certain meeting, or to a certain retreat, or to a certain, there is a showing up to presence, showing up to God. And of course, there is the relative showing up, where we show up together to a retreat or to satsang, which is a caricature, let's say, of the real showing up. But I don't mean to diminish, I don't mean to, when I say caricature, I don't mean to diminish the effectiveness and diminish the experience of love and presence of being together, whether it's in satsang or in retreats. So there's, as a again, as just a way of putting it. There is always the cup half full, the half full. Of course, it's such a simplistic way of saying it, of course, but the clouds that appear in the sky, they don't soil the sky, they don't disturb the sky, they don't preoccupy the sky. The sky is this very present, this very presence, this awareness that is neither augmented or diminished. When there are emotions or feelings or thoughts of me and him, me and her, or poor me, better me, whatever, awareness is never diminished or augmented. It's a different dimension. It's the dimension of reality, of truth, of that which we truly are. So every now and then there is a dream of dragon clouds and fire spitting demons in cloud-like, But in time we realize that that's not the big deal. There is no big deal. There is no big deal. It's in a way still God's painting, And we always say, "Thy will be done." I'm on board. I'm on board. There's no question there. No doubt there, I say.
Excuse my humor, but to me you are like a mermaid in the ocean.
We are all mermaids in a way. We are all mermaids.
But it's just then I have such a dark phase where where everything gets doubted in a way. Then I cannot even do the word consciousness or God. It doesn't mean anything suddenly. It's just
okay. It's okay. So what?
Hallelujah.
So what? You see, there are no conditions. No conditions. There are no states that we are seeking. No, it's just there, complete availability. Complete not knowing. So, okay. We don't know what's knocking on the door. When we open the door, even right then, we don't know. Here we are. It's always God knocking on the door. There's no other. There's no other. Whichever way it appears to us. Whichever way it appears to us. So it's a complete, the yesness of not knowing, the yesness of presence. It's not.
Thank you.
Mind impressions are mind impressions. The weather is the weather. Sensations are sensations. They don't signify anything when it comes to the light of being, the light of awareness. They don't matter. They're okay. Nothing is what we imagine it to be. There's only one isness, one truth, one reality. That has no name, no shape, no age, no gender. the undeniable reality of being, of awareness. Okay. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi, it's Esther.
Hello, Esther. Hey, Esther.
During the meditation today, towards the end, you mentioned allowing this reality to be our map and our guide. Suppose you could talk about that kind of living the understanding in such a way that that there's an attitude of listening. I don't mean to other people, but listening and paying attention to what life presents in reality. Just
Yes.
living the understanding in that way.
Yes. So it's a sort of listening, not knowing, meaning a listening that is completely open, completely open. There are nothing on deck. There isn't a me listening to God, me listening to this. It's a listening space which has no owner and no subject and no object. So it's a sort of a free fall listening that's directionless. It's sort of a listening where the space of listening has no center and the infinite diameter. And there is nothing included or excluded. And in listening, living as presence, living as being as awareness, following the understanding, there are no models. There isn't a model of time and space or me and God or this or that. There are no models. There isn't even the model of listening. Because once you step into God's love, there is no personal self with any conditions or any hopes or wishes or expectations or demands or regrets or all of that is completely surrendered and is seen through as being completely empty, completely meaningless, and completely unreal, that the reality of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions is the reality that we decide to give them. So in a way, robbing God, which is pretty miserable. So moment by moment, we are in this complete not knowing. Presence as absence, and absence as presence. Effortlessly, everything is embraced without anybody doing anything, no activity in this embrace. It's a gateless gate. Once you step through this gateless gate, which is just your complete love for truth. You hold nothing back. There is nothing held back. Isn't any interest in any goal or any experience or a life after death or resurrection in a better heaven or nothing, none of that. So in your life, all impressions of this and that, all delineations between this side and that side, between this and that, are they're absent in that borderless, loving presence, and you live moment by moment with your gaze turned towards truth, and that which is looking in the direction of truth is truth itself. The false cannot look in the direction of the true. Only the true can look in the direction of the true. Only the real can look in the direction of the real. And the direction of the real is the real itself. We're never looking outside of ourselves because there is no inside and outside to reality, to truth. And so in everything that we do, in every expression, every activity, we are effortlessly surrendered, and we're effortlessly embracing and embraced in the mystery, in that the mystery of being, in God's creation. And in this creation, in this magical manifestation, we are the same drops of water in the ocean. And everything is that. And there isn't any reality outside of the ocean, outside of that drop, outside of water. And that drop of water is not a body, is not a mind, is not an object. It is God's light. Like every ray of the sun is sunshine. So we start by remembering God, by remembering truth. And in time, God is remembering us. In fact, God is always remembering us. But in time, we recognize that our remembrance of God is God's remembrance of us. It's God's love that we are, and it's God's love that we love. In everything that we love, it is God's love that's loving.
Thanks, Magdi. It's so beautiful, so true. Thank you. Thanks for your words.
Yeah, we are never apart. Any questions? Any questions?
Hey, Magdi.
Hello, Holly.
You probably can't see me. It's kind of dark here. You made a post on Facebook where you said you can either keep playing the game of boredom if you want, or you can go deeper into the truth. And that resonated with me because, I don't know, it's the end of a long winter and, you know, still being kind of holed up in my house for a long time. I'm playing the game of boredom right now, and I'd rather not be. So I don't know if that gives you anything to expand on, but.
Yes. You know, on the surface, it may seem to be sort of an innocent game, you know, to play the game of boredom. Where I am the same day, what am I doing, when am I going to get, when things are going to get better, blah, blah, whatever. But the sense of me, the sense of separate self, the unhappy sense of limitation and separation is nourished, is fed, is maintained via these seemingly benign thoughts about my feelings and when am I going to have a different day. Sometimes we feel that, oh, this is really happening. I am bored. This is a fact. This is a fact. I am bored and I feel bored, and you can't deny me my feelings. But here we are, every moment, this moment. Moment of presence, of being, the light of being, the light of awareness. How can the light of awareness be boring? It's like saying God's light is boring. From a perspective of a story that we tell ourselves, and the story that we tell ourselves always starts with, I am Magdi, I am holy, I am, meaning the body-mind, I am doing this and that, I am a sister, a daughter, a son, and it always starts with a false, limited and limiting definition, formulation of I. Right there, right at the onset, you're already rolling. The ball is rolling. The snowball is rolling, and it's going to augment in mass, because we're starting with a false proposition, a false initial belief. And you know, as we are interested in truth, we're interested in truth. We come to that understanding, wait a minute, you know, there's a falsehood. There is a falsehood. Right there, there's a falsehood. The falsehood is that I, this aware presence, the female or male is a mortal, is a falsehood. We have to come to that clarity, Holly, the clarity that I, being a mortal object, is a falsehood. There is no evidence for that. There isn't. It's just a belief, and the feeling is reinforcing this belief, and the belief is reinforcing the feeling. That's all it is. And the beliefs and the feelings, both of them, they appear to you. You may be closing your eyes at them, but when you open your eyes, you will see that, yeah, there is a feeling that I am limited. It's a feeling. A feeling is an appearance. Is an appearance. Even when there is a tornado arising, it's an appearance. Even when there is a volcanic eruption arising, it is an appearance. It appears to I awareness. It appears to, there is a reality that perceives that is. So to come to an understanding or even a glimpse of that, that is very precious. Once we have that, received that precious gift message, we have available to us God's whisper. And if we take God's whisper and ignore it and continue to refer to, here I am, a long winter, oh goodness, the winter has, we never experience a winter. It's a story, Holly. It's a story. It's the winter is a mind occurrence. You never experience winter. Your experience is always presence, awareness. There may be a thought that arises to you. Oh, I am cold. Oh, this winter is cold. This is winter. What is it that is winter? The weather out there? Is there a weather out there outside of awareness? Outside of consciousness? The weather out there, quotes unquote, is just awareness appearing as a sensation, as a perception. You have to return to your understanding. The understanding is that there isn't a reality outside of the reality of awareness. There isn't a reality of a world out there or something out there that is separate from the reality of consciousness, of awareness. There's only one reality. And we know this reality as awareness, as consciousness. So when we come to the understanding of God's understanding, and understanding about truth, then we need to return to it. We need to apply it. We need to live it. We need to, like when you open your wallet, there should be the first card, not your license. It should be the first card, the first what's available to you first is I awareness. Not me living this life and moving in a year 2020, 2021, 23, 2025, now this and the house, not that. That is how God is manifesting moment by moment by moment. Right now, it's this manifestation, moment by moment. And this manifestation is the eternity of God, the eternity of consciousness. Because in this moment, there isn't a past and a future. And in fact, our experience is always that. It's always that. I know that the thoughts arise and says, yesterday, before, after, tomorrow, blah, blah. And it may be helpful in some practical sense. But the danger of thought in time and space is that to feel that I exist in time and space. If you exist in time and space, then you are prey to boredom. You are prey to the sense of isolation, the loneliness. You're prey to feeling unloved, etc. As soon as you believe yourself to be somebody living in time and space. So in boredom, there is a process of the me thought, the thought of me. And in a way, I don't know how to explain it, we enjoy these thoughts. Because, I don't know, maybe because in these thoughts there is, well, maybe I won't get bored tomorrow, you know. Sometimes, I don't know, it depends from person to person. Sometimes we have a tendency to think a lot about what's next. You know, we're lining up, you know, yes, today is this and tomorrow is going to be that, after tomorrow is going to be this, and Friday this, Saturday that, next Tuesday, and in March there is going to be this, and in the summer. So, yeah, I mean, of course, there is a need to plan sometimes, but I'm talking about this, that we need to have things lined up in order to feel, okay, well, fine, our life is lined up, is well arranged, you know, all the pictures are nicely hung on the walls, and behind that, there is this avoidance of being, avoidance of being, of just like now is being, it's just being, the avoidance of being. But it's disguised as, oh no, as an interest in, you know, but it's behind that is the somehow we're avoiding God, we're avoiding presence, peace of being. See, I never get bored. I don't know what. If there is a moment where there is nothing to do, sitting looking out the window or simply being, just because being is not personal, you see. It's not like, oh, here I am. It's being is truth. It's life, being. It's not like a personal being. It's what we are. Our reality is being, the Sat, the Sat aspect, the Satchitananda, Sat. Being awareness, Satchit. So Satchitananda is being awareness. Being awareness. Being awareness is not an activity, see. It's the reality. Its reality is Satchitananda. Being awareness, the bliss of being awareness, you know. And this bliss of being awareness takes on all forms. It takes on the form of this conversation now, or it can take on the form of being alone at home. I don't know, maybe you're resting, or you're reading, you're listening to music, or you're cooking something, or you're just being the radiance of being, you know, the radiance of being. Boredom is in the thinking. First there is the me, and then there is boredom, which is some comparison, some measurements, some evaluations, some judgments. What's the point? What's the point of that? I mean, really? I mean, nobody's forcing the thoughts on us, really. I mean, it's not like, why do we do it? It must be because at some level, that's what we want to do. We want to experience boredom. So we say, oh, you know, whatever. But it's not necessary. Not only it's not necessary, it's not the right direction. It's not the right way to be. Babies never get bored. Children, they learn at some point. I'm bored. You know. At some point, they pick it up. They pick up some story about I am bored. But consciousness never gets bored. There is no boredom in reality. Boredom is part of the me story. And, you know, we like the me story. I mean, the whole industry of gossip is a huge industry. And there is the internal gossip about ourselves, you know, not just also, you know, I remember being in Brittany in France many years ago, and I was in this village, a small village by the ocean, and on the beaches, this beach of rocks, you know, they're not sand rocks. Two things that are coming to mind. I remember talking to this lady, this older lady, French lady, about, oh, how beautiful this village is. And she was saying, no, yes, but le son des galets, the sound of the stones. You know, I guess when the wave come, it does, I don't know. Mm-hmm. She was having a problem with that. Le son des galets. I was like, is she for real? But she meant it. She was, I don't know. And maybe around it was the same village, a different time, maybe the same day or another day, I don't know. I was again talking to this couple of older, I don't know, I remember they were ladies, but it could have been a mixture of two older people, you know, about just chit-chatting about life and things. And they were just so full of complaint about the young people of today. They had a thing about the young people of today. And they just kept on going about the young people of today. The young people of today, young people of today. It's like somehow there is, you know, you get you bite your teeth, you're biting your teeth into something, you know. It's like they bite their teeth into something. And it's pretty miserable, really. I mean, it's critical, it's not loving, doesn't make them feel good. They feel like, oh my God, those young people of today, they're destroying their society, whatever, I don't know, whatever they were talking about. But overall, it's pretty miserable. And, but yet, they were very interested in that topic, in just spinning that wheel,
Mm-hmm.
So I remember Francis saying once that in ignorance, as the body-mind ages, we become more and more unhappy. And in wisdom, as the body-mind ages, we are more and more happy. So let's go the direction of wisdom, because those bodies are aging.
Yeah, thank you. I sort of remember roughly how it happened. I got an idea of something I wanted to do that I thought maybe I could do, and then I couldn't do it, but I just kept like turning and grasping on this,
Yeah.
And then I kind of by like entertaining, I see what you say about it becoming like an avalanche or, building, accumulating. Because once I kind of like went that direction, now I'm dealing with the consequences. I feel, tense and stuff. So, so I sort of can see how it happens. So now it's time, hopefully.
It's okay to, it's something that you would like to do, and is to be sort of open yourself up to that, like to do that, and let's see if the universe cooperates, you see. So it's still, it's still recognizing your interest, maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, well, I'd love to do that, then see if how the universe responds to you when you are sort of opening yourself up to a certain possibility. The universe, its consciousness is infinite possibilities. So when you're opening yourself up, then you are open. There is an opening. And so that possibility or something close enough may reveal itself to you because of your openness. It's different from, I want that specific, then the energy sort of becomes focused in an unnerving way, way.
Yeah.
Right. So, right. So.
Thank you.
Okay, Holly.
Good to see you.
Lovely to see you. Please say hello to Emma.
I will.
So any questions? Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Elsa, lovely to see you, Elsa, and Holger. Hello, Holger. Thank you for your presence. And Holly, Richard, hello, Esther, and John. Lena, hello, Lena. Hey, Frank. Nice to see you, Frank.
Good to see you.
There's Zoe. George, how are you, George? George, are you in Texas? Everything okay with you and the winter? I hope everything is okay.
It is now.
Okay, yeah.
It was a disaster last week.
Yes.
We had about 0 degrees temperature outside, but about 55 inside, 45 degrees inside the house.
Yes.
So it was very cold.
Yes.
And so last week I was completely concentrating on keeping warm and whatever.
Right.
And so I thought maybe life would get back to reality. But then on Tuesday, we had a pipe burst.
Oh, okay. Oh, gee.
And that took them 3 days to fix it. So anyhow, I'm fine.
All right.
The only thing I want to say is that during this time, I was totally the separate self. I had completely forgotten about any alternative. And so I'm really glad to be back. Thank you.
All right, Ross. I'm glad that, things are better. And Kelly, hello, Kelly. Sorry. Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.